Also impacting people in Indiana. 4 people shot just after midnight near a popular walking spot in downtown Illinois. Police say 2 groups of people were on opposite sides of the canal. Excuse me, that was in Indianapolis. They were on opposite sides of the canal walk when they had some sort of disagreement. They began shooting at each other. 4 women, including 2 teens, were shot. All 4 are expected to recover, but so far police have not made any arrests there. Rev Charles Harrison, he's the board president of Indianapolis' 10-Point Coalition, is here to discuss gun violence. Reverend Harrison, thank you so much for joining us. And, you know, we just reported on that shooting in downtown Indianapolis. That's where you are. But gun violence also up in big cities like New York and Chicago. Is this a case of too many guns? Is this a case of not enough police? Is it all of the above? Is it something else?
Well, I think it's a combination of several things that I think has led to the increase in violence that we're seeing across the country. Certainly, the easy access to unlawful guns is a major problem in large cities all across the country. I think the other thing that we're seeing is that a rise in interpersonal conflicts that are leading to violence, where beefs and arguments that people are having with one another are now leading to people being shot and stabbed and killed. And in my 23 years of working on the streets, I've seen a dramatic increase in that in Indianapolis, and I'm hearing the same kind of stories from leaders all across the country in cities where we're seeing surging violence at record-breaking levels.
Well, certainly, you know, and in the city that I'm in right now, Chicago, it's certainly in the news, you know, so much. And you've seen, though, Reverend, some success with your program there in Indianapolis. Talk to us about that, and what are some strategies that maybe other communities could be trying?
Well, I think what we're doing in certain neighborhoods in Indianapolis is building this community law enforcement partnership to try to address the immediate violence that we're seeing on the street, but also addressing the root causes that is leading to violence. And, you know, we believe that it takes the village to do that, that this is a multi-layer problem that we're facing in urban violence, and there is no one silver bullet. So you need everyone involved to help deal with the issues of poverty, broken families, poor education, high unemployment around individuals that are most likely to be involved in violence. And when we have done that and putting boots on the ground, which is taking ex-offenders and what we call OGs, original gangsters, who were part of the problem 10, 15, 20 years ago, who are now engaging gang members and at-risk youth on the streets. We have seen a lot of success in that, in working with police to address those who don't want to really be a part of the solution.
You know, and Reverend, you know, there really does have to be a partnership here, right? Because this really does impact all of us. How do you talk to young people, particularly in the Black community, who may not feel comfortable speaking with police?
Well, I think that's where, you know, clergy like myself and you know, OGs are able to really talk to them, because it's really going to lead to in 2 directions. Either you're going to end up in prison if you keep, you know, living this gangster lifestyle, or being involved in drug trafficking. Either you're going to be arrested or you're going to be the next victim. And I think part of what we try to do is to give them viable options of things that they can do in life and be successful, and to provide a way out for them. And I think that's why it's important for us to be on the street, to be a counterbalance to what they're hearing from drug dealers and gang members and others that are trying to pull them in the opposite direction. And I think if we can continue to do that on a much larger scale in cities across the country, then I think we're going to have success in reducing the level of violence that we are seeing that is disproportionately impacting young men of color, particularly Black males in this country.
Yeah, because there certainly has to be viable options. All right, Reverend Charles Harrison out of Indianapolis, thank you so much for your time today, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.